practices to purchase energy through these independent entities.
Right.
It's almost like slamming.
Right.
Many years ago, there was slamming of telephone service. Now there's slamming of this new commodity, energy.
And we stopped the slamming by penalizing the
Right.
practice
Right.
and making sure that there are significant checkoffs in terms of people switching.
Mm-hmm.
Are there things that we are doing now in that same vein as it relates to ESCOs?
We hope so. We're making a dent. About 2 years ago, the Consumer Protection Board filed a petition in the Public Service Commission, because they are the regulators of the utilities, saying the rules need to be stronger. There needs to be a code of conduct in place so that all these agents, all these ESCOs, and not all of them are bad, but the bad apples know the rules of the trade and also will face consequences if they violate these marketing practices.
Right.
So after about a year, the Public Service Commission went through a deliberative process. They issued new rules based on our recommendations. And the rules are now in place, and we're monitoring to see whether there is a difference in terms of the complaint process before the ESCOs, or whether there needs to be stiffer penalties through possible legislation. The rules are significant in the fact that if there are complaints, and I urge consumers, if they have difficult experiences, unpleasant experiences, they should complain to the Consumer Protection Board or the Public Service Commission, because then we'll know what's going on. And if we need to enhance the rules or enact legislation, then that's the way to go. But it is a comment. We see this problem across the state, and we hope that it will be addressed with these rules. As I said, not all ESCOs are bad. Agents under the rules have to be knowledgeable about the practices. They have to identify themselves, that they are not part of Con Ed or not part of National Grid, that they are part of an independent operation. They have to disclose certain terms and conditions. Upon request, consumers should ask for written documentation. They should also not give out the utility bill right away, but get a detailed plan of what they will be charged. Oftentimes these ESCOs will say, oh, for 2 months you'll get this amount of energy at this cost. Sounds great, but what about after the 2 months? They don't necessarily guarantee your rate. Right. Whereas a regulated utility, maybe sometimes that they can give you a budget plan. And so you have an idea of what you will pay, a fixed cost each month. But under some of the ESCO plans, after 2 months, 3 months, you may end up be paying more for energy than you did under Con Ed or National Grid. So we advise consumers, and we have a lot of tips on our website. We advise consumers to be very cautious. Don't fall for any strong-on tactics and pressured sales tactics. Look at the terms and conditions. Ask questions. Just because they claim it's discount energy doesn't mean it's discount energy. Right. Or you may get discount energy for 2 months and then end up paying more out of your pocket. Right. For the electricity, to light your house.
Now, Mindy, the big problem we have in the state is that they have actually targeted many seniors.
Yes.
And many seniors, don't know. Sometimes, or aren't as familiar. Some of them have had these bills for years and haven't had to deal with them. Oftentimes you find older, seniors who are widows, right. Where their husbands, took care of everything, and now this is falling in their hands, and they've gotten caught up. Right. So actually, I'm working with Assemblyman Janaris from Queens, and actually one of my colleagues in the Senate, Hiram Montserrat, to actually bring together a ESCO Bill of Rights, and we're hoping that we're going to get that passed this session and have that law in the books as well to help protect consumers on this issue.
Good. Not only seniors, Senator, but those that speak Spanish or Chinese, not English as as their second language, they have been targeted as well. So I look forward to that legislation. We look forward to working with you on that bill, because obviously we have a mutual goal here, which is to strengthen the protections for consumers.
Absolutely. So what other, I know you always have, you have campaigns, and I know every year you come up with a set of goals that you're trying to achieve. What's happening in 2009 that you're really trying to push forward?
Well, late past year, late in 2008, Governor Patterson signed an identity theft protection and mitigation legislation. Right. And that gives the Consumer Protection Board some additional powers to mediate and troubleshoot for identity theft victims. As you know, New York State is 6th per capita in identity theft complaints, and we are seeing actually an increase in the incidence of identity theft with respect to medical benefits, even government services in someone else's name. And so the Consumer Protection Board has enhanced its resources and its program with respect to identity theft prevention and mitigation to help victims recover from the consequences of the harm, of the crime. So we can now intervene on their behalf with financial institutions, with credit reporting agencies, with employers, with financial institutions, because identity theft can impact on many different aspects of one's life. So we have various tools now in place to do just that. We have a public service campaign that enlisted the assistance of Amani Toomer from the champion New York Giants that has played throughout the state. And we seek to assist consumers also in protecting their information. Information privacy is key, not to give out your social security number just willy-nilly when someone asks for it.
Right.
And so we have enhanced our website and our resources in that area. Also with security breach, more and more consumers are getting notice that their data has been breached. You shop at the local supermarket or you shop online, and lo and behold, you get a notice later on that your information has been breached. You might need to talk with your credit issuers to get a new credit card. And so consumers may be confused about that. We have information in the agency to enlighten them on that. And we also seek information from breaching entities, those who have suffered a computer hacking incident, for example, so that they disclose fully the impact of the breach on New Yorkers. Another area that we're very involved in is toy safety and juvenile product safety. Governor Patterson last year signed into law new legislation that strengthens the marketplace in New York State. And now the Consumer Protection Board is testing products for lead content. We are also working with retailers to make sure that recall notices are more prominently displayed. And we are also working with various industry participants so that they are aware of product recall, so that when you and I and your viewers go out to a local restaurant, or if you happen to stay in a hotel, you're not using an unsafe product. And we've been working with the hospitality industry and the food industry so that they're aware that they have some sort of awareness and responsibility to product safety as well. So those are a few of the issues that we're working on. We certainly have stepped up in this economy. Everybody is facing a little bit of a difficulty in terms of surviving the downturn. We have a program underway called Stretch Your Dollar, which provides strategies, tools, and tips on how consumers can indeed stretch their dollar. And we
I need a bunch of those.
So do I. Actually, consumers have been writing in and emailing in tips that we post on our website all the time. And we also have information online with respect to other life skills issues. So if your viewers are contemplating using a pawnbroker, or are going to visit a rent-to-own center, or thinking about credit repair or credit counseling, we have resources online, easily accessible, to advise, to educate consumers that in this difficult economy, the last thing we want to see is a consumer get scammed and lose more money. We're trying to recover. We're trying to work on resolving the deficit. And so these tips, this information is valuable to advise consumers what they need to look for before going to one of these entities, and so that they don't get scammed, you know, and lose their hard-earned money.
So how do my viewers contact the Consumer Protection Board?
Well, there are many different ways. Certainly they can go onto our website at www.nysconsumer.gov. We have a toll-free consumer hotline. That's 1-800 697-1220. And it is bilingual. And like I said, we field thousands of calls every month. Any type of call from